What is going on, everybody? Andrew Hagenbaugh back with another video, and today I'm going to be discussing the small little beef between LeBron James and soccer star at AC Milan, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, for those who don't know, a few days ago, Zlatan was interviewed by Discovery Plus, and he was handed a softball question, just a basic question. Now, the question wasn't released, but from what I heard, it was a simple question, and Zlatan made a big deal about it, and in the middle of it, he criticized LeBron James, saying it's a mistake for James and other athletes to get involved in political causes, saying they should just do what you do best because it doesn't look good. Now, I know we've heard this before with Laura Ingraham from Fox News telling LeBron a few years ago to shut up and dribble. It's basically the exact same thing as that. And then LeBron James comes out and says, I would never shut up about things that are wrong. He says, I preach about my people and I preach about equality, social injustice, racism, etc., etc. And he says he knows what's going on because obviously, for those who don't know, he built a school here in Akron, Ohio for 300 plus kids that are dealing with racism and poverty, that doesn't have a chance to go to good schools and, may never have a chance to go to a good college and stuff like that, to where the I Promise School actually gives students scholarships when they graduate the I Promise School. That's part of the deal that they get when they go there, is that they get like a free ride scholarship to the University of Akron, and just kind of gives them a chance at life. And we all know LeBron here, as he does a lot of charity here in Akron. For those who don't know, I am from Akron, but he does a lot of charity work here. And it doesn't matter where he goes. He does a lot of charity work wherever he goes. He does a lot of work. Like, he did a lot of work in Miami when he was with the Miami Heat, obviously here in Cleveland and Akron. So LeBron is a very, very charitable man. He does a lot for not only his community, but for other communities as well. And when he speaks his piece, he knows what he's talking about, and he knows like what he's dealt with throughout his life. And the ironic thing is back in 2018, Zlatan was complaining to the Swedish media that he was dealing with a lot of racism in Sweden, because for those who don't know, Zlatan was born and raised in Sweden, but he was born with a Bosnian father and a Croatian mother. So his parents were not from Sweden. They just moved to Sweden. He was born in Sweden. So he doesn't even have a Swedish last name. And he was being criticized and dealt with a lot of racism, as his last name wasn't like a traditional Swedish last name like Svensson or Anderson, something along those lines. It actually ultimately kept him out of the 2018 World Cup lineup, because he retired after the 2016 Euros and retired, and maybe played like a couple of friendlies here or two in 2017, but ultimately ended up retiring because the Swedish manager said he wasn't going to get a call up, especially to the World Cup. And that kind of threw Zlatan out of the loop. And during that, he was dealing with a lot of racism with the Swedish media and stuff like that. And he was complaining about it. And so I don't get why Zlatan was telling LeBron that he just needs to like keep quiet, even though Zlatan was literally dealing with the same stuff that LeBron and other athletes here in America and sports in general go through. You see that a lot with Marcus Rashford for Manchester United, Raheem Sterling for Manchester City, and a lot of other athletes that sit there and they help their communities. Like Marcus Rashford, for those who don't know, he would go on Twitter and say like he's done this and this and this for his community, and people were giving him a lot of backlash, and a lot of English media were giving him a lot of backlash for it. Like, he was feeding poor families who were in poverty and kids and stuff like that, and he was getting a lot of hate for it, but he says, I don't care what people say, I'm just going to keep doing it. And which is a very good thing. Like, people think that when you become an athlete, you should just forget about where you came from, your community, stuff like that, and just focus on being a basketball player, a soccer player, a football player. But a lot of these people want to do good for the communities, and a lot of politicians in these communities and in these states don't do much for their communities and states anyways. And it's said that we have to rely on people like LeBron and Marcus Rashford and Raheem Sterling to do this stuff for us, because our own people that we elect in office won't do it for us. That was really all the quote unquote beef there was between LeBron and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Like I said, it wasn't a lot. It was just pointless because Zlatan just brought it out of nowhere, and it really made no sense of why he brought it up. But that's all I got for you guys today on this topic. But before I go, this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedroom. For those who don't know, it's all done online. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code SLUMP at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com with promo code SLUMP to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Slumpbuster podcast. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.